When Ginger was in college, she was diagnosed with narcolepsy, which is a disorder in which your body can't really control your sleep-wake cycles. She was kind of falling asleep in places you would never expect someone to fall asleep.
He put me on a medication, which I had been on most of my life now.
That medication was tough for her to adjust to taking it because, all of a sudden, all of her feelings and really everything, smell, sight, all of that was really amplified. Her emotional highs were really high, but her emotional lows were also really, really low.
I had been starting to spiral a bit. I started making pretty poor choices in how I navigated boys. That weighed on me heavily. I was not honest with myself. I wasn't honest with them. I was never honest. That combination of those two things, on top of getting onto a medication for narcolepsy, led me into a very dark place. Your mind can do a lot to overpower what is real and what is right, and mine was doing that at that time.
She was going through post-college transitional period that I think a lot of people go through.
My career did not kick off in the way that I expected it to.
She was putting out a bunch of resumes, wasn't really hearing back, and kind of wallowing in this sea of rejection a little bit.
Nobody called. No one wanted me on TV, and that was what I had been driving for at that point for, 4 or 5 years.
One day she just snapped.
In that moment, my brain said, "You're not worth it. This isn't worth living. You're wasting people's time and space. It's over. I'm going to take this. I'm going to take pills and I'm going to go away. And I'm going to go away forever." And that's the best idea for everybody in my life.
Thank God her roommate and her ex-boyfriend at the time, realized what had happened, convinced her to come out, called 911.
And they said, "We have to go to the hospital." And luckily I didn't take anything that could kill me.
In those months before starting her job, her depression had really started to rival that post-college low.
I checked myself into a mental health hospital 10 days before I started my job at ABC News. I needed to commit to that. The moment you do that, you're admitting that you have the problem. You are seeking help at a really high level. And I was going to some of the best doctors in the world.